This is the view right here, and you got your remote control so you can adjust the flow. That's a killer rock right there. I like this. I love how the fish can actually go behind the waterfalls here. So look at that. The fish just disappear and come out. That's a really, really nice effect. My goodness, look at this. Totally beautiful. How far does it go underneath there?
The pond extends to about 3 feet underneath the deck on these lobes.
So it goes a couple feet underneath there, but just enough to create the illusion that people will have to ask how far it goes.
Right.
So we have the entire Ostrander clan right here. So we have Michelle, Chris, Ben, Sydney, and
Toto.
that looks like a Toto. This is the homestead for how long?
19 years.
Wow! And the pond is in the front yard because you had a daycare that used the backyard.
Yes, sir.
You got Chris Ostrander, the man. This is your personal pond.
This is my personal pond.
Well, let's show us around.
All right.
I'm Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. This is my channel, Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. And this is my first time ever to Battle Creek, Michigan. Nice. Oh, you have a tropical lily up in the upper pool here, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, the frogs jumping in, surrounded by water. 1 waterfall, 2 waterfalls, 3 waterfalls, and that is a cool front door. Now, there's not a human being alive that's going to come walking up here and not say something about this front.
Everybody.
Oh, the
Guy,
man,
the
yeah,
mail
the man.
lady.
Everyone. The pizza guys love it.
Right. This is the view right here, and you got your remote control so you can adjust the flow. That's a killer rock right there. I like this. Premium Aquascape fish pellets. And they knew it was coming. Wow, this is spectacular. Does Toto like chasing the frogs? Yeah. I could see him going around and the frogs jumping in. How old is Toto?
He's about 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah, he's still pretty spry. What's up, Toto? You live in a very traditional neighborhood. You wouldn't expect to see this in here, but what's it been like, you know, living the lifestyle yourself? How would you describe as a contractor and the wife of a contractor living the aquascape lifestyle?
Oh, it definitely changed it. I didn't really think we needed this.
Of course, that sounds so typical for the wife of a contractor.
I certainly didn't think we needed it this big, but now, I mean, we're out here all the time. It really made our house bigger, if that makes sense, because we are out here every evening.
More space to enjoy.
It draws you outside.
Yeah, and when people come over, they really don't come inside first. Everyone comes out here first. Their kids are out here, and we're pretty laid back about the kids being in the pond. So
Yep.
Everybody likes to come see it. The neighbors all know, oh, the house with the pond.
Absolutely. What else could you put in your front yard that was positive that all the neighbors would know you for?
Yeah, right. We're not the house with the motorhome in the front yard.
Or all the cars.
Right, or all the cars, they say the house with the pond. In the neighborhood kids too, that's the blast, is they come down here and feed the fish, and in the spring when it's cold, sticking their hands in there. It's not unusual to have 3 or 4 neighborhood kids hanging out around the
Or
pond.
Halloween, people are freaked out about crossings. They all.
Oh yeah, that would be fun at Halloween.
On Halloween.
Oh wow, so the water's like boiling.
Smoking, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
they all
yep.
like, I mean, a lot of people stand like this as they walk across. We have neighborhood dogs that will show up that are just like bathing in there. Or we had a family of ducks one year.
So how many years has this been in total?
7 years.
Okay.
It's a fixture in the neighborhood now. It's been here for quite some time.
I love how the fish can actually go behind the waterfalls here. So look at that. The fish just disappear and come out. That's a really, really nice effect. And that's a great rock. And I guarantee you when you saw that rock come in, you were like, yep, I know where to put that.
It's been a waterfall twice. It got moved when the pond got changed, and both times they had water running over it.
Yeah. Why would you not want to walk across this with fish swimming beneath your feet? What room is this right here?
That's Sydney's bedroom.
Oh, what a nice view, Sydney.
Yeah.
All right, so you got your main big body pond down here.
Yep. This is a larger pond area down here, skimmer box with 2 pumps in there. There's an AquaSurge 4 to 8,000 and an AquaSurge 2 to 4,000.
Okay.
So we're actually running a little bit higher flow than we're supposed to, but I've got them turned down a little bit.
So you can adjust them because they're variable speed.
Correct.
I love how you have your hostas. So one of the nice things here is the hostas are softening up the rock work. So you got blooming hostas, but you can't even tell, but there's a boulder underneath there. So the whole goal is you don't know where the water ends and the land begins.
So right, and we had to do that. The sewer clean out for the house is right there. So there's a lid right there. All that's hidden by that, and you can't can't tell what's going on with that.
So then, all right, so you got your pathway. So you built this so that the fish could literally go back and forth between the main body and then the upper pool here, right?
Yeah, this is all the same pond. The fish could travel underneath here, and they actually spend their dormancy in the winter underneath this rock in a deep cave that's all the way to the bottom.
Okay, how deep is this pond?
2 feet deep.
24 inches, perfectly fine in Zone 5, Michigan.
No issues.
You know what I really like about this is the way the light's coming in. At the end of the day, reflecting off of the waterfalls.
In the morning, coming from that way, it's gorgeous.
It's just spectacular. This is a deep upper pool, so he's actually got lilies up in the upper pool falling into a deep lower pool. So that's a nice effect, really nice effect. And this is a cool rock too. Can the fish go underneath here?
Bird bath, yes. There's a cave there. One of the new Aquascape Aquajets.
Oh,
is
okay.
Underneath that rock.
So the pond power head is shooting the water out.
The power head, yes.
Love the stump. And so being able to add wood in there, just look at how natural this looks. Nobody would believe that we are sitting next to a front yard driveway when you look at this little section right here. You got a little biofalls up here, so you got a wetland and a biofalls.
Yeah, the wetland over there, old wetland, and it's working great. We don't have a snorkel and a centipede in this. We have to take the aqua blocks off.
Love the ground covers, love the different, not just the different textures, but the different colors that you have up here. So this is actually an old wetland, so that's an upflow biological filter that then the water starts right up. This is really and then it just flows downstream, correct?
I only mess with this about every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, so it's not even an annual clean out for this.
Nope.
There's one frog, there's another frog. And I love, you got blooming forget-me-nots in there, right?
Yep.
You got the sedums over there growing in, water lilies. This is the true art. So you enjoy the gardening aspect.
Yeah, absolutely therapeutic. I'm out here every night picking or like...
Have you ever heard of the book Freakonomics? Have you ever heard of the book Freakonomics?
No.
I'm going to tell you what the book Freakonomics is. It's statistics that you wouldn't think are alike. Chris, our #1 people that own ponds in terms of demographics are doctors. Guess what the #2 is?
Teacher.
School teachers. Why do you think doctors and school teachers would be in the same category? Absolutely. And also you have the summers off, so you could be a gardener. And what better way to be a gardener than garden around a water garden? Typical suburban neighborhoods with kids still out on bicycles. Boy, I love seeing that. That's what kids should be doing, stuff like that right out here. And there's no better draw than a water feature to draw kids outside and families. 40 minutes just went by like that. I mean, we just sat out here in the front of their yard, waving to neighbors going by, watching kids hanging out and playing outside. What else could you put in a front yard that would make you want to get outside and enjoy the neighborhood, something like this? For me, to see a traditional neighborhood just like this with an aquascape ecosystem pond where an entire family could get out and enjoy it. That's what this is all about. That's what this channel is all about. It's about inspiring people to live the aquascape lifestyle. I love my job. So here we are, huh?
Yep.
This is the property that your guys come to every day.
This is where we come to meet.
Okay.
So typical landscape contractor, we got kind of our yard back there where we keep our rocks and our gravel that we grab in the mornings.
Okay.
And what we did is we rented out a house to have a place for the team to come. They used to meet at our house. Then a few years ago we switched. We've been using the pole barn over there for about 7 or 8 years. And then when this house became available, we thought, this would be kind of cool. So we have a place where the team can come to meet.
Nice. Yeah, really nice.
We can keep our calendars up and kind of keep track of what's going on, keep track of our goals, and
all of your Crazy Lake Frog awards. And I'm assuming this one is for the CAC of the year.
Yes, it is.
There we go. Certified Aquascape Contractor of the year 2015. Who'd you pay off?
I'm not sure about that one.
Hey, good morning. Yeah. Did you find these on the side of the road? Roadkill?
Yeah, right.
These are all your pandemoniums, right?
Yeah, all the pandemoniums, all my certificates from academies.
How many pandemoniums have you been to, buddy?
11.
And how often are you actually in the office versus in the field? Let me ask Michelle.
Yeah.
How often is he in the office versus in the field?
Not very often right now.
Yeah, he's always in the field.
Yeah, his goal is to be in here most days, but lately he's been out there most days.
Sure.
He ends up in here in the evenings then.
This is not property where we necessarily have retail or anything here. We're contractors and this is where everybody comes to meet. But we did want to kind of show off our work to the community here. The goal is, long term, we have this long area back here, and right down the road is a hospital. And this is just a busy area for law enforcement, ambulances are going by. So we're going to create a space back here with a pondless waterfall and a pond where some of those folks can take lunch, dinner, or whatever, but it's open.
Just to invite the community over.
Yeah, invite the community and have a spot where they can
Right.
relax.
This is great. You got a nice little sign here so people can see the investment. But wow, what an amazing impact that could have in a space. So you got an architectural wall, you've got scalloped urns, you got the spillway bowls, and it just all goes into a basin built with aqua blocks, right?
Correct.
So you just wanted to show different toppers that you could have for your fountainscapes.
Right.
Very impressive. Good morning. How you guys doing?
This is the shop.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Boy, did you clean it up for me? So you're Danielle. Nice to meet you, the pond guy. Yeah, hey, good to see you again, buddy. Hey, Aaron, nice to meet you. And where'd you come from? How'd you find the job?
Facebook, they found me.
So, Facebook and Facebook, huh? That's really cool. So Chris, this is your mother's house, right?
Yes. When I started my company in 2007, I talked my mom into building an 11 by 16 pond. So I had a pond that I could go to whenever I wanted, not bother customers.
Ah, that makes sense, yeah.
I couldn't afford one at the time. She could.
Okay.
So, a couple years ago, 2012, the deck needed to be redone. So, well, we'll just let you see what happens.
Okay. Wow, and this is Mom's pond. This is not an 11 by 16 anymore. Look at this yard. I love it. I love how it integrates with the deck. That's the coolest thing. Not only do you have an awesome water feature, but this deck, I love how it cuts right in and it cantilevers. How far does it go underneath there?
The pond extends to about 3 feet underneath the deck on these lobes.
So it goes a couple feet underneath there, but just enough to create the illusion that people will have to ask how far it goes.
Right.
And the fish are ready to get fed. They hear the footsteps. My goodness, look at this. Totally beautiful. So what's the size of this pond? Give me the dimensions and what was involved with building this.
Okay, so it's 50 feet long, 35 feet wide. There are 3 seams right through the middle of this pond because I changed my mind 3 times about
Sure.
what size it would be.
Which is why we don't like to do drawings.
Right. And there's an intake bay over here, the skim cove,
Yep.
where the water goes in, all the debris ends up over there. We have like an 8 by 10 constructed wetland right up here, and a 6,000 biofalls and a 2,500 biofalls.
To filter it. Mm-hmm.
Filtering it. The original pond, when we added on the wetland, we had a biofalls, and so we just...
So this is the skim cove right here where the pumps sit back in here, right?
Correct.
So your mom has to come in here and just scoop that off.
Yep.
How long would a project like this be, and what would it take to replicate this in somebody's yard?
So we're gonna have your yard torn up and be hanging out with you for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how things go and how big of a crew we have working on it. The project is about 200,000 pounds of rock in here.
Wow.
We're gonna spend $70,000 to $80,000 of your money to build it and make it look amazing, depending on the patios and lights.
Yes.
And all the other extra added things that you can put in.
$60,000, $70,000, $80,000 to replicate something like this in someone's yard.
Yep.
And so people look at that and they say, that's a lot of money. How many people have sports cars that spend $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 that sit in their garage that they use a few weeks out of the year? How does your mom enjoy this?
Every single day, every morning, every night. Her bedroom is right there, so she can literally open the window and listen to this right outside the door.
Amen. You're a good son.
My son's graduation party was here. We've had friends have graduation parties here. The Battle Creek Symphony had an event, a charity event here.
Oh, wow.
They set the symphony up here on the deck, played for people, the audience out on the grass.
What else could you put in your backyard that the symphony would come and perform?
And so our Evening by the Pond events, this is Pond Central in a week. So everybody will come here first to get their tickets and then go on their way. So this thing gets used like you wouldn't believe. The first pond, you stood up here, there was a big railing and it was way down there. Looked over the railing down at the pond, which is kind of cool. You couldn't really interact with the pond at all.
Just like you were sitting there with the dog, you couldn't do that.
You couldn't do that with the old one because the railing was in the way, the deck was too high. So this pond, the goal was really to bring those two together and make it super, super interactive.
It's so fun to watch the fish swim through the cave to get to the other side. You know, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times before on this channel. I don't know what else you could put in this space that would draw people outside and have them spend time outside in their yard relaxing. Some people might say this is a Lamborghini of ponds, and it kind of is, but it's just a traditional backyard. It's a big backyard, but look at the gardens. Look at how beautiful this space is. So this woman was a financial planner. She worked her whole life, and she has a son that builds ponds, and so she invested in her backyard. She invested in herself, and a lot of people have hobbies. A lot of people have expensive cars that they don't get to use every single day. This is a water feature that gets to be used every single day, 365 days out of the year. This thing is changing, and that's what I love about my job, is showcasing how people live the aquascape lifestyle. If you want to live the aquascape lifestyle yourself, check out the link below to find a certified aquascape contractor in your area. You too can be living the aquascape lifestyle. I love my job.